Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's installment of Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, here to bring you my review of Battleground Pro Wrestling's Legion Hall of Doom, which occurred this past Saturday, June 30th, at American Legion Post 716 in Los Alamitos, California. I'm sure y'all have seen some of the stuff that has been going up. We were on top of things on Saturday. We had pre-match promos go live on the channel, featuring Mikey OShea, Pinky and his Nobody, the Suburban Commandos, Tyler Bateman and Reyes, and a couple others. We had matches go up almost as instantaneously as we could. I mean, seriously, it was about as good as you can get to an iPay-per-view without being iPay-per-view. It's like we had to let the batteries charge a little bit. We had to offload and miss a couple of matches, but I think about half of the show went virtually live as it was happening. In case you're wondering, this is the Battleground Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship that I have on my shoulder. Big thank you to Rico Dynamite for allowing us to hold on to it for the time being. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes, what y'all want to see and hear, the review of the show. Show started off with Rico Dynamite coming out to cut a little pre-show promo about his match with Sheik Body. Jeff actually was in the ring and called out Rico a la Ricardo Rodriguez. He was like his personal ring announcer. Rico came out and made fun of Jeff. You can check out the video. It is up. Please watch that. We went straight into the first match, Mikey OShea versus Levi Shapiro. And on the prediction show, the hype video that me and Jeff did, I called this a throwaway match. Basically made it seem like this match didn't fit in on the card. And I have to say I was wrong. Levi Shapiro and Mikey OShea pulled out a hell of a match. For at the end of the day, something that didn't have a whole lot of story or detail going into it. And they made it something worth watching. So I want to go ahead and publicly apologize to Levi and Mikey. If I offended either one of y'all by calling it a throwaway match, y'all definitely proved me wrong. Next up, Silverheart Radicals versus the Revolution. Awesome, fast-paced tag team match. This video is also up on the channel. Check it out. It's from a hard cam perspective, so it's not all up close and personal. Check out the video for this one as well. You can see exactly what we mean. The Revolution are quite possibly one of the best tag teams on the SoCal indie scene right now. And these guys, you just definitely have to get out there when you find a fed that they're going to be competing at and check these guys out live. They're phenomenal. After that, we went to the Ring Warrior Championship match. Jeremy Yeager successfully defending his title against Seville and the returning Perry Von Vicious. Again, another great triple threat match, fast-paced, action-packed. The Ring Warrior division is very much like our Cruiserweight division. Give you guys something to compare to, or our X division. These guys just have no regard for their body and are constantly doing whatever it takes for a fun and action-packed match to get the crowd into it. Like I said, Yeager retained. Once again, this video is on the page. Check that one out and see what they had to offer. From there, we went to a little bit of a ring segment with Sean Cosby doing Wrestlers Say the Darndest Things, featuring the Derevko brothers and Danny Ramirez. Maybe it's just me, but I can't just say Derevko's normal anymore. You gotta try to get the Russian accent and get the Derevkos. Basically, the Derevkos had issues with those guys stemming from the last show. Those guys, before they got eliminated from the company, their final course of action was to make sure that the Derevkos were not booked for the show whatsoever. But the way those dastardly Russians always do, they found a loophole, and Alexis competed against Foob Dog Battleground mainstay, made very short work of Fubi. You know, Sasha and Alexis jumped him, I'd say jumped him from behind, but they pretty much hit him head on as he was coming to the ring and blindsided him. Didn't have much time. This prompted the Suburban Commandos to come out and introduce Alexis to one of their buddies from NorCal, Johnny Plinko, making his Battleground return, Jeff Meacham's new favorite wrestler. We hadn't seen Johnny since about September of last year, so it was cool to see him back in the Battleground ring. Disposed of Alexis Derevko, no problem. And we'll see if anything develops out of this, or if it was, you know, just a one-off deal. After that, since the Commandos were already out there at ringside, we went to the tag team titles. Suburban Commandos defended their straps against the Working Dead, BBoy and Chris Cadillac. This was like a best of NorCal tag team versus a best of SoCal tag team match right here. Commandos are well respected in the Bay Area. Working Dead, BBoy gets a lot of respect wherever he goes, and Chris Cadillac is very quickly getting that same respect. The two teams put on a hell of a matchup, very hard hitting. Find the match on the channel, just look for it. Then we get to the real true meat and potatoes of the show. Famous B defending his West Coast Wrestling Company Heavyweight Championship against the certified badass Rick Elice in arguably the hardest hitting match of the night up until that point. The two men fought outside the ring. We saw a darker side of B than we had ever really seen before, and I hope we get to see more of this intensity that Famous B brought to the matchup. It kind of sucks that it took, you know, Rick Elice to bring this out of him, because I like this side of B, but I hope that's not the end of it. I hope we get to see a lot more things between these guys before their feud is over. Be on the lookout for that one. That one will be up shortly. Whenever Adam from West Coast Wrestling posts it, we will definitely be sharing it on our Facebook and Twitter pages, because that match was just fucking phenomenal. As was the next match. Tito Escondido versus Tyler Bateman. No disqualification. Falls count anywhere. The tweet of the night was hashtag holy fucking shitballs. These two guys literally went everywhere in that Legion Hall. They destroyed the merch table. They destroyed the table that was hidden under the ring. They used dollies. They used, God, a bunch of other stuff. They used caution wet floor signs. Ray's, Tyler Bateman's manager, took that to the head and just sold the crap out of it like a champ. I don't know if she was really hurt or what, but she took that, and I started feeling for her. Seriously. Arguably, that was the match of the night. Once again, once that match gets posted by Battleground Pro Wrestling, we will be sharing that one all over Twitter and Facebook as well. The main event of the night, of course, though, was the match for this championship. The Battleground Pro Wrestling Heavyweight title versus Sheik Khan Abadi. Rico Dynamite defending this, like I mentioned earlier. And that match, again, it was just off the hook. Very, very action-packed. A lot of us thought that Sheik was going to add one more championship to his collection, because he's already the Action Coast Empire Heavyweight Champion and the Devil Mountain Wrestling Heavyweight Champion up in Northern California. And we totally expected him to add a SoCal strap to his vast growing collection, but alas, he was unsuccessful this time. Maybe next time he will be able to make it happen. But that is basically the rundown of what happened at Legion Hall of Doom. Shame on y'all if y'all weren't there. You need to definitely make it out to Red, White, and Bruised coming up in July. I believe it will be July 28th. 8th. Don't quote me on the day. We'll let you know as we get closer and closer to the show. For Casa D18 Studios channel, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and I will see you next time right here.